Meetings are the bane of all work.
We're live 5:30.
Meetings are the bane of all work.
Okay, so we are going to call to order the Montgomery Economic Development Corporation meeting for January 29th, 2025. It's about 6 p.m. and we have a quorum: Carol Langley, Dan Walker, Ryan Lundeen, Casey Olson, myself. We're all together, and so we're going to call this meeting and get it started. So to begin with, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and just turn around, face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We do the flag?
And I honor the Texas
Okay, yes, I Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God,
one and indivisible. Thank y'all.
Thank you very much. That's new. We haven't done that before.
We do it the other way.
Well, we should do it every week. Yeah, we will from now on. Okay. All right. So we are going to entertain public comments, and we have one speaker. It's Miss Cheryl Fox. Can I have a drum roll?
Okay, my name is Cheryl. I'm over at 821 Stewart, and I am coming to beseech, beg, please, that I have found out that there's a piece of property for sale on 149 Caroline Street. I think it's imperative that the city own that piece of property. Of course, the city has to depend on, EDC about buying it. And we all know, I'm not real big about owning property for the city, but that one is absolutely essential that we have. And I beseech everybody in the city to make that happen and to start some kind of conversation about buying that property, please. Thank you.
Cheryl, can we ask a few questions real quick? Why? Why is it imperative?
Because if we don't have that piece of property, anything that we do downtown will be absolutely for naught. Because if somebody buys it and puts a tire shop there, it's not going to be a real aesthetic type thing for the downtown Montgomery. And it's right beside a historic building to begin with that has a state plaque on it. So therefore, it would be very continuous to have all that kind of the antique portion or the history portion of Montgomery. And I think we'll lose a lot if we don't acquire that piece of property. And then we have to look at the piece of property that we acquired on 149 and 105, and then we sold it, and now we are dealing with Jack in the Box. So I think we should really consider buying that piece of property.
Do you have any questions, Brian?
Do you guys know what the property is? You know which one it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we allowed to speak on this? Do we know?
Not really.
Depends,
really.
only if it's positive, if it's negative.
You really can't say anything.
Yeah.
Ruby.
I think we can just, at the end, we can talk, maybe bring it up. I don't know. Yeah.
And I think
So we have to make it an agenda item
Yes.
for next agenda. to
Deliberate
talk
on it,
about.
yes.
Right, okay.
I would love for y'all to deliberate on it, and possibly,
Would you like us to include it on our agenda for next
I
meeting?
would,
Okay.
I would.
All right then. It's
Would
duly
the
noted.
Historical Society like to start bids on it, or something that they would want to do, or?
Who?
Historical Society.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
They're a little older over there.
They do not get sales tax from the city.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you, Chief.
she is slick.
Thank you, Chief. Okay. I don't believe we have any other public comments. Is that correct? Yes, no, maybe? Okay.
That's correct.
All right, very good. Then we'll just hop into our agenda here. First item on the agenda is the consideration of possible action on the regular meeting minutes of December 17th, 2024. I've reviewed them. I don't see anything to the contrary of what we talked about. And by the way, they were very well written. Whoever did that, you? Yeah.
Both of us.
Both of you? Okay, thank y'all. Very, very well written. Thank you. Is there any, do we have any
Nope.
Any discussion?
Make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of December the 17th as presented.
I second.
The motion has been made to Accept the meeting minutes of December 17, 2024 by Ms. Langley. It's been seconded by Mr. Olson. It's amendable, debatable, and requires a majority of vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? So that motion carries, and we will accept the meeting minutes of December 17, 2024. Next on our agenda, number 4, consideration of possible action on the potential grant reimbursement for a downtown Montgomery Mardi Gras special event. It's scheduled for March 1st, 2025. And since I just recently received this packet and have tried to kind of go through it, I had some little bit of pre-understanding, but are you guys a part of that? Y'all look Mardi Gras-ish. Yes?
How is it a reimbursement?
Well, that's what it says.
They already had it?
No. I think they're looking for a grant.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a grant
Just a
application.
grant
It's just written as a reimbursement, but,
Okay.
okay. Hi.
Because they're gonna spend it first and then we're gonna,
Correct.
That's right.
okay.
Correct.
That's why
Yes.
reimbursement.
Correct,
The
yeah.
application, if I may, the application was not submitted until Friday, just as the agenda was being posted. So it was originally being written for a reimbursement, and then, because we weren't sure if we were going to get the application by the time it got published.
True.
And so the event would be held, and then they would bring back receipts for a reimbursement since the process wasn't done in advance.
That makes more sense.
I like that process.
Okay, so can y'all be sure and, give us your name and who you represent, okay?
So I'm Michelle, this is Heather, we're with Bar and Vines.
Okay.
I'm Angie Miller with Slice of Amish.
With who?
Slice of Amish.
Oh, hi. Yes, of course I know, yeah.
Yes, I'm the owner of Bar and Vines, and Angie runs Slice of Amish. Michelle runs also Bar and Vines as well.
Okay. Tell us about your wild idea.
So, being a bartender in historic Montgomery for a couple of years now, we hear a lot from people that they want more activity in the little historic quarter, if you will. We have the coat walk, we have stuff like that, and that does generate some hubbub around the city, but we have a lot of people from Louisiana too. And we've got Crawfish Kai, which he's not here right now, but he did partner up with us, who's a small business in historic Montgomery as well. We wanted to partner together to kind of bring a sense of community also on our Louisiana people and do something fun that brings revenue to all of the small businesses. So partnering with our next door neighbors and our people across the street.
Well, tell us about the event itself. What are you thinking?
So we have already a jazz band scheduled that's going to be on the stage at Jacobs Properties.
Perfect.
They're from Sam Houston State. It's a 5-piece, and they're going to play traditional New Orleans style music.
Okay.
It's family friendly. Do games for the kids. We talked about like crowning a little prince and princess, or king and queen.
Of Mardi Gras, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Crawfish Kai is going to come and boil on site.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Slice of Amish will do their traditional little grilled cheese baskets and little food options as well.
Good.
So, and with our location, which is right there on Macomb Street, you just want, block off that little area and then have the band play. So it's just right there for now. The goal would be eventually to maybe do this a yearly
Bring them parade.
to
Right.
where the whole district, the whole downtown historic Montgomery can become a part of this fun thing. And it's during the daytime hours, so it's like noon to 5 is where you want to do it. So it's definitely geared towards families.
Gotcha.
And with our building, how it is, it's very Mardi Gras-ish.
Yeah.
But to get it going that way and then getting people excited about it, to bring community down there and out, people in other communities to our little city and showing them, that would just boom all of the small businesses around there.
For
Because
sure.
it's going to be a walkable event. That's what I'm trying to do. We are trying to do is get people down there so everyone can walk around, see all the businesses, and then stay for the music and the jazz and have some food. So that's basically what
We also
And it's something
see,
that we think that would be kind of like geared towards, like what we do with the trick or treat event.
Yeah.
Where it's totally family friendly, and it's
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
And the Christmas parade, that kind of thing. And we don't really have anything at that time of the year.
Right.
So I feel like this is something great, and it brings families in. And it's during the day, so it's, and then the adults can have their fun later on too.
How do you plan to market it? I know it's coming up fairly quickly.
It is.
So we've already been talking word of mouth, which is a lot of, just being in the community itself, but we'll also do on Facebook,
We do
social
TikTok,
media.
Instagram, social media for sure, but we're very good at getting that out online.
Yeah.
And we have many followers online that'll get the word out, so.
And any disruptions to the city in terms of traffic or anything along those lines?
No, I wouldn't think so, because the roads that are blocked off are really, there's major roads all around. 149 's still open, College Street's still open.
Okay.
Yeah, it literally blocks, I mean, what we want to block off is probably 10, maybe parking spaces.
Oh, I see, okay.
And it's during the day, and then after that.
Well, I think that changed a little bit.
McAllen,
I
yeah.
think,
Is it McAllen that you're talking about?
Yes.
McAllen.
yeah.
Chief, do you see any obstacles with this from a safety
We'll
perspective?
take a look at it. I'll have Lieutenant, who does our event safety, take a look at it and see what can be
Thank you so
done.
much.
And we can be flexible with that as well too. I mean, if it's something, just to get that through.
So just McAllen Street, you're not talking about blocking the Jacobs parking lot as
So
well?
as of yesterday, it was my understanding, right, is what you had brought to our attention, that the amount of people that we kind of projected on our application meant that it would need to be a bigger area. And they suggested Jacobs parking lot as well. But again, that doesn't affect any major street.
So it
I
would be
think in our
downtown, the T, right there at,
McGowan and the
McGowan,
parking.
and
Basically where the farmer's market does,
Yeah.
blocks it off
Our
every
street
week.
dances
Except it's
basically
short.
are marked off,
Yeah.
where the street dance gets blocked off.
Okay.
And Lieutenant said that we could make it happen for them this year, just as a trial, with 2 officers, but with the stipulation that we close Jacob's parking lot because of the amount of people in that small area, just to be safe.
So Larry's okay with that so far? He's good with everything, Mr. Jacobs?
Yes, I believe so. I mean, when I spoke with him, because we have the stage, but this came about yesterday afternoon.
Right?
Okay.
So we will confirm all of that as well.
What about the community building? Is it being used that Saturday?
You already spoken with them, didn't you? I think.
First
Yeah, it is.
Saturday is that
So it
day,
is, it's
right?
the first Saturday. I spoke to the Welcome Center, and as always, those ladies are very nice, very kind, and willing to partner and do whatever we can for the betterment of, downtown historic.
Well, it's-
They're even willing to enter from the other side. which is
It seems to me, though, if you bring more people downtown for First Saturday,
It would help, right?
everybody's gonna benefit.
That's their
benefit.
thing,
That's the thing, that's what
Yeah.
kind of our.
Can you do it every weekend? I'm just,
Oh, right, I know, I wish we could. You see so many people traveling to other cities.
Yeah.
Going to Conroe for the festival, so you can do it right here.
Jacobs property?
what's that?
Sorry.
Don't we lease that Jacobs parking lot, don't we?
That's
We
correct.
do.
Yes.
It's ongoing.
So it would just have to run it through council. We don't need to ask Larry. He can-
Yeah, I
We
see.
don't have time to.
Not this quickly, yeah.
Well,
It's
yes,
not
we do.
till March.
It's not until March
We got
1st.
one-
Yeah, we've got
One meeting
yes.
prior.
We have 2 meetings.
2 meetings prior.
Yeah.
You want to try to
I
get
think it
that
just
on
needs to
your,
run through council to approve the usage of the parking lot, just like the street dance did the first time.
When I talked to Larry about the stage usage, he told me as long as the city didn't have anything going on, that was fine.
Right.
So, because he.
oh, that's good, thanks, I didn't even know that.
Stage.
Yeah.
How about the liability? Is there any insurance required or anything along those lines? Yes,
We
no?
have all that set up. I do have my insurance agent, we just switched and renewed that last week.
Okay.
Switched companies.
Would they make, I'm sorry, would they make the, would they add the city as an additional insured?
Yes, that's one of the.
Yeah, he told me, he said whatever they need,
Okay.
if there's any questions, just to send it to him and he will get that.
Perfect.
added in.
Okay,
So there's
yeah.
no issue on that whatsoever.
Yes,
And I did stop by Mr. Jacobs' place twice yesterday. He was out of the office, just to run it by him, in all due respect.
yeah.
But we do have the lease agreement. We have all of our stuff in place.
And so you guys are asking for up to $800 or $1,200?
Well, the agenda
800
says,
is in the packet.
Well, 800 is
but
for
your
security,
application
says
says
1,200.
So I
And then we
don't
had the
know.
entertainment in there as well.
So the entertainment as well as the security, is
And I
that?
have the invoice for the entertainment if you need it for your records.
So the 1,200 is the amount?
It's 1,200 total?
Yes, sir.
Correct,
1,200
yeah.
total.
But isn't it a certain percentage of that?
Typically,
It's only a third of the, how much is the whole project?
1,200.
12?
well, no, it's,
No, it's more.
Well, I mean, we'll have more than that, but that's what we were just.
That's what
so
we're looking for.
what Carol's saying is typically the EDC is able to fund up to a third, is that right?
Yep.
Right.
Of your total cost. So when you fill out your application, in this case, maybe it would be $3,600 for the project and then $1,200 for the ask.
Sure.
That's kind of the way it works with EDC. So do you, I don't know what we do. Usually
I guess that sounds pretty good. That's exactly what they should do.
right?
Add 3,600.
Yeah. So how would we go about doing that? It's not quite completed
I
correctly.
think you have to do it.
Right, and this is a learning experience for me too.
Yeah.
So if you have, do you have a budget of what your overall expenses is to put this event together?
I don't think it's a hard rule, it's just a rule of
Something
thumb.
roundabout?
It's not a hard rule?
No, it's a rule of thumb.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just.
No, it's on the application, Ryan.
It says typically, but we've approved
But
more. We've
Typically
approved more.
means we've done it and
It's just a rule of thumb.
It says typically grants are awarded 1/3 of a project cost up to $5,000.
We've set precedent, right? So-
So
We
you
have,
can
but
do
we've
your motion
approved
to
more.
accept this indicating just what you said, 1/3 or up not to exceed 5,000 with receipts for reimbursement.
Okay.
You can do your motion with that statement because that's what's on the application.
Okay.
And then after the event is done, they can bring in all of their event totals and.
And then we can
they
see how it-
do
how it
1/3
lines up.
to 5,000 based off of the application.
So award maybe up to 1/3 of whatever their receipts total, 1/3 of the receipts total,
But
not to exceed
That's
$1,200.
correct.
Okay.
Is that okay with y'all?
Is that,
We'll just say not to exceed 5,000.
well, it's, so if you spend about $3,600, then we can fund up to $1,200.
Yes, sir.
Based on this application. So for next year, okay, you want to put your entire budget together. I know you're going pretty quick this year, but next year you want to put your entire budget together and then you can't ask for more than 1/3 of that.
Got it, okay,
And then you still bring the receipts.
Yeah.
okay.
So we would need a motion.
Well, she's got something.
Oh, do you,
So if they did it quarterly, because that's ideally what we were talking about, and each one was themed something different around that holiday, would they have to come back to MEDC every time?
Yes.
Or-
and well in advance if possible. Yeah, because we only meet once a month.
So so if you know you're gonna do 4 a year, come in January and apply for all 4.
That's the best way to do it.
Put them together all at once.
After this event, you should have a good idea of your expenses. Then you can go ahead and pull together, what 4 events you want to do, what the themes are going to be. And like Casey said, get us in January, and it's a lot easier at that point.
Got it, yes, okay,
we
thank
want
you.
to make sure that it's budgeted.
Right, and that allows us
We've got
to.
that in.
Yeah, we've got like a full budget on
I
grants.
agree, but we'll probably have a little better idea once we know how successful, right?
Well, I don't want to spend all of Stephanie's money if we
This comes out of
amount.
grants though, right? It doesn't come out of events.
This comes out of grants, and I believe we have,
Well, hey, I appreciate the fact that merchants are getting out trying to promote our city and actually doing all the work that you're doing. Maybe you could talk some of the other ones into it down there that like.
We're trying.
Like some things that maybe.
you know what, you can, they say you can drag the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Okay, so here's the thing, it's just initiative, you don't have to be great to get started, you just have to start to be great. So just start, and we'll let that work out, because this is the kind of energy that we need in the city right now. And we're all about moving forward. We're not going to turn around and go, oh, they don't ever play, they don't ever participate. We don't care about that. We're here for the people who want to belong and become something better than they were yesterday. So, yeah.
Now, what are the hours again?
Noon to 5?
Go ahead.
I'm curious, what budget is this coming out of? Do y'all know?
Well, I'm looking it up right now. Carol,
There's
do
an
you-
economic development grant program, and it's fully funded, 20 grand right now, so.
That's the line item it would come out
Yeah,
of.
so it wouldn't be coming out of events, it'd be coming out of the grant.
Grants. Yeah, so, because this is an application
grand, yeah.
request for a grant.
Right.
but this is being done a little differently because we didn't quite have the application till the very last minute. So it's
Right.
coming in to authorize approval of the grant, and then they'll come back with their receipts all put together, and we'll get a submittal on another agenda where you would then make a motion to authorize the exact payment amount.
Okay.
Can you word that?
You want me to word that?
All we have to do is accept the grant.
Ruby, would you word that?
All right, that's what was the motion.
Okay, so I can't make the motion, but I can facilitate it, okay?
So we can just do this. I'll make a motion to accept item 4 as presented.
Beautiful.
Seconded motion.
Well, then
Hold
that
on.
leaves them
I
only
would recommend it to be
$1,200.
moved, to approve a grant for a downtown Montgomery Mardi Gras special event scheduled for March 1, 2025, up to, for payment of up to 1/3 or not to exceed $5,000,
Yes.
to provide receipts for reimbursement.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you get that?
Yes.
Jeff wrote that down.
Is that what you're going to write down for us?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Can we have a second?
I did.
Okay, so it's been motioned and seconded, it's been motioned by Casey somewhat, and seconded by Dan, that we approve the grant for the Mardi Gras special event scheduled for March 1st, 2025. And we will be looking forward to receipts and a reimbursement. They're asking for $1,200, but not to exceed $5,000. It must be a third, no more than a third of what your total expenses are. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's amendable, debatable, but requires a majority of vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, the ayes carry. You're off, you're running.
Thank you.
Okay, congratulations. Thank you for, it means a lot that you came here tonight, too. We wouldn't have had a chance.
We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Before we move to the next agenda item, Ruby, we need to make sure it gets on our agenda in February, the use of that parking lot
Yeah.
for that day.
For city
Yes,
council.
I already made a note.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to push along here. Let's see. Give me just a second to regroup here. Okay, so next, it's agenda item number 5, presentation discussion on a recap of the 2024 events and event wish list, October through December. And this is going to be you, Stephanie. Would you mind standing to the podium so we can hear you?
Sure.
And before Stephanie gets started, I just wanted you, and this is going to be out for you guys to look at afterwards. This is a book that she has put together that is tabbed, that shows all the events, the recaps of the events.
No, that's one event.
That's just a Lone Star Street Day.
I'm sorry.
That's just,
The event, one event,
Yes.
and everything that goes into that event, correct?
It's the scope of work. and-
It's a scope of work for one event, okay? Remember before, it wasn't like this so much, it's extraordinarily buttoned up now. So I think I just love progress, right? And so this is progress, and thank you. And I'm excited for them to be able to take a look at that, because that's remarkable. But you tell us, what have you done so far, Steph?
Okay, so Stephanie Johnson, Special Events. I just want to do a quick recap over the events in 2025 that we executed.
This one's for 24.
Oh, yeah, that's right, I'm
agenda
sorry,
item.
thank you for that. So 2024, as of January 23rd, it's my 90-day mark, and I'm super excited about the progress we've made and the progress we will make in 2025. So with that, I wanted to say we had an estimated attendance of 6,000 to 10,000 participants attend the 6 events that we executed. I don't have a specific number on the attendees, and I wish I could get that, but maybe once we get the data back on the Christmas parade from the drone, the images, we'll really be able to capture just how many people are coming to these events, because it's hard to gauge the Christmas parade. Relax.
So we're sending a drone up to do the best we can to capture the number of people.
Well, I don't know if that's the main use of the drone. It's
It won't count the number of people, but what it will do, it will give you an overview of every different section, and you can kind of hone in there and kind of find out.
Are you saying that we've already done that for the parade, or we are going to do?
No, we already have.
We've already done it.
Oh, we've done it, okay.
We applied the drones for the-
And how do we see that, did you say?
Oh, well, once they have the report and everything together, what
Okay.
the drone is specifically for, he'll provide the
He's not
images.
giving you a report?
Oh, wow, so we can see it.
Maybe I should.
That's exciting, okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
That's
and,
great.
and
Especially for the parade.
can I ask a quick
Yeah,
question?
absolutely.
Is the footage clear enough to where it might be able to be used for future marketing purposes, Chief?
I sure hope so.
Chief, is the drone footage, is it clear enough that it might be used for future marketing
Oh,
purposes?
absolutely.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons we have.
Social media, Facebook, something like that.
Yeah, perfect, okay. All right, keep going.
Very good. So anyways, I think the attendance is probably where, maybe a little bit more than it was the previous years. I don't really know. I'm starting to gather the data from every single event. And you'll see in my event recaps where I capture the estimated attendance for each event. So we have the trick or treat, movie night, Lone Star Street Dance, Light Up the Park, Christmas Parade, and Snow Party. During the last 3 months, I believe I did the best job I could leveraging a lot of relationships in the community. I met with a lot of people my first 30 days. It was super exciting and had great leadership and help from Ms. Cheryl. And the mayor helped me quite a bit on those events. So I'm very thankful for that. Excuse me. I've met with probably 75% of the downtown businesses just face to face. Let's see. Additionally, connected with key stakeholders within the first 60 days, assuring alignment and support for future relationships and initiatives. So there's my event recap for 2024 overall.
And how about, talk a little bit about the budget and how you were able to sort of augment some of the costs and things like that, and some of the plans you have going forward.
Well, I really didn't spend more than I absolutely had to for security, public works, barricades, everything like that, because I wanted to be modest. I didn't really have a chance to go over the numbers. I just went based off of what I saw on a spreadsheet, but I don't feel comfortable going off of that. So I was just very modest in my spending and only spent what I absolutely had to.
How did you?
25, I would like to add value to each of those events. And you'll see in my recap what I mean on that for each event. But I did connect with businesses in the community and partnerships with Home Depot. I was able to, they loaned me a lot of their Christmas decor. I mean, really big decor that looked really good, added a lot of vibrant, beautiful Christmas decor, wow factor, I think, to the Light Up the Park, for sure.
So in future events, do you have any indication that you might be able to obtain some sponsorships?
Yes, I do. And I am working on that. That is in progress.
Okay.
I was able, there's a lot of things that I have to do before that because I have to set up my system for events for the entire year. I have a lot of events, and as I add marketing, advertising, calendars, all this fun stuff and sponsorships, someone actually has to do that. So I have to make sure everything is scheduled. It's very important that I have my binder and a scope of work, timeline, budget, everything for every event, and not have it last minute.
Got it.
Just can't.
Right.
operate
Well,
like
you
that.
kind of were
So-
drinking through a fire hose for these last few events. So
Yeah, I mean, it's.
we got through
it's
those, and you
getting
did a
better.
great job.
Thank you.
So are you thinking that maybe down towards the end of the year, we might be able to work out some sponsorship possibilities for maybe the parade and some
I'm
of the big?
thinking maybe March.
Really?
March or April.
Okay.
Yes, I've already done some work on that, but, so when you have a sponsorship, you have to be very consistent with it. We need to go to the businesses that have sponsored before and give them first right of refusal
Right.
for what they're getting, and we have to give the same across the board. So if we start with a gold sponsor, a silver sponsor, and bronze sponsor, they all get the same benefits. See what I'm saying?
Right,
And I don't think all the events need a sponsorship.
Right.
What I would like to do is do like a Christmas in Montgomery and a title sponsor, and they get ownership to all those events. So you bundle them all together. And, you know, like Xfinity, okay, we were asking you if you'd like to sponsor the Christmas events at $10,000, and here's what you will get for that.
got it. So everybody at one time, basically, or everybody, the sponsor would come in and they would just, you would bundle the snow party, the light up the park, the Christmas
Lone Star
parade,
Street
Lone
Dance
Star-
all together,
Okay,
the Halloween trick or treat together. I mean, that's just one event,
got it.
but yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I'm open for suggestions on that, but I think that's the easiest way to manage it,
Oh, absolutely.
you know?
okay,
Marketing, advertising, communications is a whole nother, you know, aspect of it that is very time consuming, and I don't mind doing it when I have the time.
Right.
But it's something that has to be dedicated, because when you have a sponsor and they're giving you $10,000 and they want to see their logo in the newspaper, they want to, that's another thing. So we just advertise social media. Since we were able to upgrade, thanks to Ruby, our partnership with the Conroe Lake Conroe Chamber, as a top member, we have a lot of benefits to that. And one of them is being, we get to put all of our events on their chamber calendar. That's really big. And when you have the Christmas in Montgomery, you know, it's presented by City of Montgomery in partnership with Jim's Hardware. That's like real estate to them,
right,
you know, because, and so that's one of the things with marketing and advertising. We also go in their community guide and directory that'll be all in all the hotels, you know, all the Woodlands, Conroe. Yeah,
Good.
so a lot of great things that I would want to share more with y'all, you know, as things progress.
right.
And it's
How do you feel about things so far, though? How do you?
great. Let's dance.
Let's dance.
Let's dance. Chief's been wonderful, really, the entire staff. We definitely have an A team.
You've got a great
And,
staff, yeah. The team works well together.
Yeah.
Is there anything more that we could be doing to support you?
Yes, I do have an event wish list
Okay.
of some things that I would like to get. And most of it's pretty simple. It's like I need a toolbox that has scissors, that has hammers, that has screwdrivers, that has, you know, pins, that has rope, anything that I would need at an event. I need a hot glue gun. You know, it's just simple things. I need markers. I need Sharpies. You know, we had over 3,000 people at the snow party.
Stuff, though. Do we have to approve things like that? Ruby?
Mary Ann?
We got 20 grand in budget.
You have in your budget for things. I didn't know those were things you needed.
Yes,
It's part of your event budget, so you
Yeah.
have authorization to be able to spend that because you're utilizing that in order to establish.
I'm
those
learning.
events.
Very good.
See, how quickly did you
But
get that?
that's not all. That is the least expensive.
Take a trip down.
I wanted to start small.
That's not big stuff, you know?
No, actually, what I would like is a full banner, nice banner, upright, you know, maybe 4 feet by 10 feet, that has a nice big city logo
Yeah,
that we're
Yeah.
about to get.
right.
So we need to brand our events. I mean,
Right.
you might go to the snow party, but how would you know it's a city event unless you're on Facebook?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Do you
So we
have an
really need to
idea
tell our
of
story. What was it?
What those banners cost?
It depends.
Or
It depends on how many
$2,000
colors. It
or
depends on how big.
$1,000?
Oh,
feathers only
no.
run a
So
couple
I
$100
should have it in there. I think I have the event list with the estimated cost of everything. I should probably be able to get that for like let's see,
You know what-
retractable stand banner, single-sided, $100 to $200.
What page are you on?
So page 35. Yeah, so we
Yes.
kind of missed
Okay.
some stuff in the agenda. I can go back over.
Okay, no, you're good.
And some tablecloths, the nice black stretchy ones that cover the entire
Yeah.
table. It's just little things like that that
Give it a
make a
classier
big difference in your photos.
Yeah,
big
I would
difference.
just go ahead and put your wish list together because you're moving at a really quick pace. And it sounds like you've got a pretty good budget to be able to pull stuff like that together. So, and you're saving money and you're bringing more in with sponsorships. So that's going to even add to it, so.
I would say
you.
us meeting as volunteers once a month, don't let that hinder you from moving forward.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and in mind, I want to stay within policy and procedure, and I'm learning too, so it's better for me to ask these questions.
Yeah.
So that I can put them down in my little book, you know?
Well, I would
so I'll know
say
next
you've
time.
got, I mean, between Mary Ann and Diane Chief, Ruby knows pretty much everything, right, front to back on government and what to do and what to say and what not to do. And what. In other words, she knows it, okay? We're not as educated as they are, obviously, but you've got a good team, like you said, so just utilize them and get what you need to be successful, because that's what we're all about, right?
Thank you.
And you're doing a great job, too, by the
Thank
way.
you.
Yeah.
Miscellaneous expense looks like it's been used for things like that, labels, clipboards, things like that, and it says Amazon Capital Services. So they must have ordered it Amazon, wouldn't you say?
I've only
Mary Ann?
ordered a couple of things on
I'll
Amazon.
get with Miss Stephanie on that, and I will help her look at her budget and guide her through
Yeah.
on what's the appropriate line items that those should be allocated out of. And if there's a budget for it, then we can proceed, and if not, then I'll recommend that she come back to council or
Yeah.
for MEDC for.
Yeah, just bring it back in and we'll realign things if we need to.
Mary Ann has that list of the events.
Yeah, and she has shared that with me.
Yeah.
That way you'll know, did you spend it all? And are we having it again? Or is that the last time you were having it until the next budget? And if there was any money left in there, maybe it could come there. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know how y'all are doing it.
Well, we can always probably
Budget
reallocate for something,
But
Blythe or whatever.
A part of what y'all have included in your event budget is a buffer for unplanned for events
yes.
Yeah.
and additional costs that come up sometimes. And
Okay.
so I've explained to Stephanie where if you had an event that was budgeted at $5,000, you only spent $4,000 of that, that goes into your surplus for your events. And that is more specifically why when we started budgeting your events this way, you have a
Right.
pot of money for your events. And
Okay.
y'all have an internal kind of list, and she does the internal list of what her school events, or what
Right.
the events consist of.
We have a bucket and then we just
That way we're
allocate.
able to use those
Good.
proceeds without a problem. Before, how everything was delineated, if it was $5,000 for that event, and you had another event that was maybe $200 more, it didn't quite work right. And so we give the pot of money for events. There was plenty of money for all of the events that were anticipated, and some cushion for extra events or extra expenditures. So there's wiggle room.
Okay.
All
Good.
right, great.
All right, so did you have anything else to add, Miss Stephanie?
I do.
Go.
I have a breakdown of each event, a recap. If you would like for me to go over those, I'll be brief, but it would give you a good idea of what I'm doing out there, since, you guys are busy, you have full-time jobs, you have a volunteer, you might not be able to make it to all events, but I can highlight some things for you. Is that okay?
Let her rip, potato chip.
Okay, perfect. So, community movie nights at Cedar Break Park, I think that was my first one. We had about 35 people there. The highlights, it was 35 people, but it was 35 people that were happy. They were great that we were having the movie night out at the park, beautiful weather, all that kind of fun stuff. Lone Star Street Dance, estimated attendance 1,000 people. That is a great event. It's a very heartfelt event. People of all ages come to downtown and dance and laugh and have fun.
Love it.
I love that event. And I think it's primarily downtown residents too. So strong participation from the local businesses that were open as well. I went to every single one of them and they were slammed the entire time.
Good.
Very good. So that's exciting. Trick or treat, that is great. It's hard to gauge how many people, 500 to 1,000 maybe?
Yeah.
That's a great event, and the police department partners with us so it's good community engagement for the city, for the Montgomery Police Department as well.
Did they dress up as policemen?
I think so. Yes. We
I'm
had some
sorry,
great costumes.
I have to interject every now and then just so
yeah.
I can make the meetings longer.
That was my third day on the job. Yay. So let's see, right here we have, so light up the park. This attendance was about 200 people despite the cold, rainy weather we had all day. So it's good to have those 200 people.
Yeah.
When the lights came on and that park came to life, it was really something to see. Very exciting. Mayor Countryman led the festivities by announcing our pole decorators. There were 49, they all sold out, and that needs some work for next year. Those GFCI
Right.
that are out there, this is the least attended event and the most time consuming. Because I was running back, and another thing, we need permanent plates on those poles. You have 49 poles.
With a number or some kind of an
I'm like,
indicator, yeah.
I don't know what you do for this. Just go decorate the pole. Have fun with it. Well, now I know, you know, what to expect. But everybody had a great time. But some people decorated the wrong pole.
Yeah.
And then when I went out there, you know, I might have numbered the pole wrong, you know, a time or two. So it was kind of confusing. And a lot of it was my, you know, housekeeping things that I can do better next year that I see. But that would be a great thing. And the Public Works can do that. Put brass, metal plates on the poles, 1 through 49.
Okay.
Easy fix. The GFCIs, I'm not sure about, so.
Yeah, Public Works
We have to look into.
probably
you
can
know,
do that.
looking
Yeah,
at
those
that.
guys can fix that.
I would imagine they
They're
could
terrible
fix.
when they're out in the weather like that anyway.
Right.
They go bad from
And I would really like to see downtown lit up next year. I mean, we have these contests, we give away a lot of money for these contests. And no one signs up for it, nobody pre-registers, so the volunteers have to drive all over the city limits. Not that it's really big, but I think next year I could do a better job of advertising that and getting the community excited and wanting to join us in that, lighting up the town.
You know,
You know?
we talked about this a little bit, and maybe one of the things would be to get the theme out to the local businesses early so that they can prepare, because we actually put our decor up around November 1st. So businesses, they have to get the decor out of the way, because then they've got the Christmas business coming, you know, and they got to be ready for that. So if we would let them know early about the theme and then encourage them, maybe give them some examples of some of the things that they could do, I think that would be helpful. And I think we also talked about, I hate to go back a little bit to the trick or treat, we talked about how difficult it was on the candy side of things, but
On the what?
yeah,
the-
reimbursing
yeah.
people, whereas if we just
They
gave
don't like
them,
that
I think we
W-9
came up
at
with
all.
that,
And
didn't we
it's
decide we're just
very
gonna
hectic
give
for me
them?
to be able to give awards, their check, and get their W-9 with their personal information
Yeah.
when I'm at an event and I might not be back to the office for 3 days.
So we can clean that up a little bit. That would be good, I think, if we're going to do something along those lines. I'm not quite sure what the answer is, but anything to simplify it
Yeah, I
might
thought we
be.
were just gonna.
Yeah, I think we
purchase
should
in
buy the
bulk.
candy and
Yeah.
distribute the candy. Yeah, I think that would be
Best way to do it.
much better.
And I have one more thing too, as far as the Christmas in Montgomery, and maybe there's some packages, some I don't know, light up packages or things that we could do that would be sort of concentric with what we're planning to do, and as a theme, and maybe pick out some businesses along 149 to assist with that. I don't know. I just don't know what the possibilities are.
I have an idea.
What's your idea?
Maybe MEDC, we could put some big, like wreaths on the poles downtown, kind of light up. Like I think if we, it's like if you're doing your yard work and you plant pretty flowers in the spring, your neighbor's gonna do the same.
Yeah.
So I think if we get out there, maybe I can get a bid for someone to put some lights up, maybe.
More commercial type lighting.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, really light up downtown to where people want to drive through Montgomery just to come see the lights and eat dinner.
Because it was in the Santa Claus business for a long time, I've got some background on that. The malls get rid of their decor quite often.
Oh, wow.
And so they have beautiful, very
Oh, I bet.
expensive, some of them are up to $1 million sets. So what I would recommend is maybe contact some of the bigger developers and ask them if they're getting
Great idea.
done with
Yes.
some of their decor, and they sell it for pennies on the dollar. Or give it away in a lot of cases, especially if it's a donation.
Do you think
Yeah.
I'm too late now?
Pardon?
Do you think it's too late now?
Oh, no, now's the time to
Oh,
ask.
really? Oh, yes.
Because they're
Yeah,
planning,
yeah, that's a
their
great idea.
budgets and their decor packages are gonna go online sometime around March, April, May, somewhere in that time frame. So now's the time to contact General Growth, Simon, some of the other Macerich, some of the other bigger developers, and, try to get to a senior marketing position and let them know the city would like to, especially the ones around here, like the Woodlands, they're always flipping their decor, so.
Yes.
Okay, so
Great idea.
that's it for Christmas, though, yeah.
Okay, so we're going on to the Christmas parade.
Okay,
That, we had probably over 1,000 participants, even with the rain, and it poured all morning during setup, but it was truly a Christmas miracle. As soon as the parade started,
quit raining.
it did. It was
Yeah,
wonderful, and
that's
chief
great.
and officers, they did a great job. We're gonna look at this event, and, safety is is our main thing.
Right.
It's a lot of people downtown. I'd like to get the footage back from the drone just to see about how many people are coming down. I can tell you, I responded to a lot of social media requests. People were in line for at least an hour, probably backed up a mile or two
For what?
to get to the parade, and they missed the parade.
Where were they backed up?
So all the way going east on 105. Yeah, I have some video of it.
Was it parking
He's heading
related?
towards Conroe?
No, I just think maybe sometimes they don't give themselves enough time, because the roads get barricaded at 9:45, and you have to do that. I mean, you
Right.
just have to. As much as we put it out there and we have the big signs out there, and I do a press release and all that, but is it really, 5,000 people, 7,000 people coming to the parade?
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
We don't know. But hopefully we'll get some data, not data, but images, from the drone that would capture that. Because what if it is 10,000 people that are coming to Montgomery for a parade?
Right.
I didn't get to go see all the traffic because I got stuck downtown with the shuttles. They took the wrong turn. They took College instead of Caroline, so they ended up down there by the white picket fence and then tried to turn left. Well.
How was parking overall?
I saw that, I live right there.
How was parking overall?
Other than it was muddy and they parked on the sidewalks instead of, designated parking areas because they were afraid they were gonna get stuck.
Yeah,
Probably would have.
okay.
Yeah, I really think that this parade is probably growing, probably a little bit more than what we all realize.
Well, good. You may have to bill it for 30 minutes earlier, just to give them time to get here and get set up.
Yeah,
the
I mean, we
weather
do
is-
work with TxDOT, and we, Chief is always.
When the weather
on that.
cooperates, we had a good crowd, but when the weather cooperates.
Oh, it's much
twice
bigger.
that size.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Like that time frame. Because this year you had how many entries, 86?
Yes, sir, 86.
About 86 entries? And last year was what, 60-something?
Yes, roundabout, something like that, but
Well,
when,
it grows each year, and you're right. When the weather's good, people,
Yeah,
and this is the first time it's rained in almost 4 years.
Yeah, I think.
it was still fun.
Well, we talked about a couple of different things too, maybe adding risers in the Jacobs lot there and selling sponsorships to, to high-end clients who might want to have prime location.
Oh, I'm sure those parents would be all over that to see their kids,
Yeah, well, those parents have businesses, a lot of them,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
they'd want to be a part of that. So they
Absolutely.
get front row seating on a riser right there to where the kids would dance, or the bands would play. So we're talking about maybe adding a little bit more oomph to the parade.
I really do think we need to add a little bit more to the Christmas in Montgomery. Because when we start getting sponsors for this event, some of this money could fund, you know, the lighting, some of that.
Right,
It's just gonna add value to the event.
right.
You know, and
Yeah,
that's
totally
what
agree.
I'd like to do.
Okay,
So the snow party, that was a really big event. It was very easy. It was probably the least time consuming. At least probably 3,000 people come and going for that.
That thing is.
It was amazing.
Since Mike, the first one he did was a boom, and it's been just gotten bigger every year.
I know, it's funny.
It
But we're-
was amazing.
But we're talking about doing that on the same day, so
We
it's
are.
one big day in Montgomery, right?
Yeah, so we'll kick off Christmas in Montgomery as soon as we get the Shop with the Cop date confirmed. I'd like to kick it off with Shop with the Cop. That's a very big event, and they do a lot for the community and the kids. Kick it off with that. That evening, it will be Light Up the Park. And then the following Saturday will be the Christmas parade and the snow party.
Perfect.
That way we get it done in 2 weekends. You know, people have
Yeah.
family stuff to do. So
Yeah, no.
That's like a good idea.
Love it.
Okay, great. All right, moving right on to 2025.
We gotta read the agenda item first before you can discuss it.
Oh, sorry.
Number 5.
Okay, number 5, we just finished number 5, so number 6, presentation and discussion of special events for 2025 in the city of Montgomery. So we're moving on to 2025 now, right?
Well, I kind of skipped some stuff, but you can go back and
Yeah,
read it, right?
it'll be some light reading.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm always available for questions.
Yeah.
Stop by. So just real quick, no, hold on, I'm sorry. Areas for improvement. Oh, that's at the end, the recap on page 33. I put the overview, the key highlights, and areas for improvement, so you'll see there. Page 34 is the marketing and promotion. I kind of talk a little bit about that. And then 35 is the event cost. More? Jeez. I was pretty busy. Just kidding. Maybe I have too many pages.
Oh, I see, you got your,
Oh, I see it, Okay, good.
38 is your agenda report.
It
Yes.
starts with the state of the city.
Page 38.
8, yes.
Okay, moving right along. Presentation. Start?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
thank you.
So this is the 2025 special events for the city of Montgomery. Kicking off with Mayor Sarah Countryman, the state of the city. That is this
Tomorrow?
tomorrow, yes.
Tomorrow, yeah.
It's for the downtown businesses, just to kind of give them a recap of, you know, where we are going, you know, overview of
Where's
what's
this
going
held?
on. Yeah, absolutely.
Where's that event held?
At the community center.
Okay.
And I don't know why I don't have the dates on here. I apologize. Oh, the dates are on the next page. This is just a highlight of the events. Mayor's Roundtable, Charles B. Stewart birthday celebration. This is not a city event, but I think it's important that we put this on there, you know, and,
Yeah.
and recognize that.
Just to show what we got coming up.
Society, absolutely. Texas A&M tree giveaway as a master gardener, movie night, Citizens Police Academy. Antique and Unique Festival is coming back to town.
Good. The water party's gonna be a big fun thing too. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so what my thought is to partner with the Lake Conroe Chamber, or the Welcome Center on that event. They already have the attendance down there. From what I've seen, the numbers, the water party, you know, it's hot, is, you know, the attendance really isn't that great. So I said, let's just do a partnership. You know, we'll do the kids zone and the water party, and people are already down there and just have a good time. So they're like, yeah.
And we're planning to do everything on the same day, so we'll do the parade, 4th of July parade, and the water party while they're already all down there. Just like the snow and the parade, and the water and the parade in the summer, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of events in the community, and I think partnerships are great.
Yeah,
Because people are gonna be, you know, all over. And
yeah.
Capitalize on your audience.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it'll help our sponsors and help to sell some sponsorships to these events too, so. But yeah, Faith in Blue, Montgomery Quilt Walk, Trick or Treat, Lone Star Street Dance, Shop with a Cop, Light Up Park, Light Up Montgomery.
You know, one thing I did see on here, and I don't know much about this, but I know it's been well received, is the Citizen Police Academy, Chief. What is that all about?
Matter of fact, we're coming up for our next, second, fourth class, be in April. And we only take about 13 to 14 people because it gets pretty crowded. We really can't get the message, because we do a lot of training. We show them a lot of different things, so we can't get a lot of people in that class. But we do it every year. And then after that, we graduate those people. And we only get 5 to 6 of those people come back as they sign up for volunteers.
Okay.
And they're the people who help us with these parades and all this other stuff that we have. Matter of fact, they come up, instead of officers taking cars to Conroe to be worked on, they come in, take the car, we keep officers here on the street.
Brian's a good boy, isn't he?
It helps us.
So
Brian's a good boy, isn't he?
they're volunteer service
Yeah.
for the police department,
Yeah,
pretty much.
Well, not just police department, we use them for the city.
All the departments,
Do the
okay.
maintenance work and.
That, I didn't know that.
I've heard, I know a couple people that have gone through it and said they love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely great thing for them.
Yeah, the gentleman, so the P&Z, so he went through it.
Yeah,
Yeah, beautiful.
I didn't know that. So, good.
And
What else you
Faith in
got,
Blue
Sid?
too. That's a really big event for you
Yeah,
guys.
Faith Blue is really good.
Faith and Blue.
Yes.
On the
Okay,
right track?
yes.
So I do have one question, is there's the fall, there's nothing in the fall. We had a
So,
Fall Fest, we had a, what is it?
We were talking about doing the Wine Fest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something similar.
so there is talks about that, bringing back the Wine Fest, maybe Music Fest. But they are gonna do the Antique Festival in
Right.
the fall too. I just don't have the dates. But keep in mind, I'm one person. My busy season is trick or treat all the way down to the snow party. I have 2 events. So it typically, for a parade, it's 3 to 6 months in the planning. When you start adding marketing
events, yeah,
strategies,
right.
advertising, all that,
Yeah.
doing it in 30 days,
Well, with one person, it's a lot.
it is a lot.
Well-
So I will start planning these in July.
So they moved the Antique Festival from, wasn't that in the spring?
I think it always has because it,
In May this year.
yeah, it's the first week in May
Always in
because it's
May.
when
Yeah.
it ends in Round Top. Yeah, it ends, and so it's just a transition where they come through Montgomery.
That's
From what I understand, it's a great event. And
That's
the
where-
businesses love it, so.
So the Antique Festival is not in the fall, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
No,
Well, if they bring one, you know, that second fall date, it would be in the fall. I just don't have the, I don't have the dates, you know, for that. And I think a wine festival would be great in the fall. you
Right.
know?
Well, we've had them here before and they were huge. too.
Yeah, I think the wine festival is a great idea.
No, I agree.
Absolutely. I love fall events.
I mean,
and fall
I
festivals.
do believe you got a good span between 4th of July and a fall event, an early fall event. I think, and it's beautiful weather here in October.
Yeah, we have the quilt walk too. I think that's in October though,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I
So when you say fall, are you saying like September, October-ish? Is that kind
that's
of, or
fall.
November?
Right, that's fall.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
winter
well, it's kind
starts
of
in
all fall
December.
here because we don't really have a winter. I mean, except for
It gets a little warm.
November is, I'm thinking of weather, beautiful weather. you know.
October's a beautiful month anytime in October. would be great.
October is,
Yeah.
Beautiful, yeah.
yeah.
So
I mean,
have to
November's even
find
more
out-
beautiful.
Well, they may not have it this year. What is that?
The quilt walk?
No, the Cajun thing in Conroe?
Oh, the
We
Cajun
had the
festival.
Wine Fest one year.
When they were doing
having
that,
that, and it
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have.
There are a lot of fall events. I know just here in Montgomery, the churches
The
have
wine
pretty.
press used to fall every year on homecoming, and it used to drive me nuts because I had girls over in homecoming every year in high
Yes.
school, but it was always just busy, busy, busy.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like anything, you gotta check the dates, make sure there's not competing events that might.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
you don't,
And
you don't,
that's what took me so long putting these 2025 dates together, is
Yeah.
there's a lot of cross-referencing, you know, some of them fall on that second Saturday. So it's just, you know, asking around and doing my due diligence.
well, I think overall though, this is so wonderful what you've done. I mean that. I mean, just to have all the details, seeing the, you know, we participate in you and we can see that you're giving more than we could have expected. So I'm grateful for that.
Well, thank you, and thank you to my team for helping.
Yeah, you guys really do remarkable work together, so.
We are a great team.
Absolutely. Do y'all have anything else to add? I mean.
So I'm trying to understand the Citizens Police Academy as why that's one of your events. In the past, Chief, you guys have handled that 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
So why is this on your
I'm
agenda?
not.
It's not on my to-do list.
It's just
a
an event
city.
that
It's a
she's
City
doing.
of Montgomery
It's
event.
one of the events because we
Okay.
handle that in our budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We put that in our budget.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
something
and
we have.
Faith in Blue,
Just-
you've
Yeah, Faith in Blue
been
is our-
doing that?
Yeah, she's just kind of rolling out everything.
Well, I'm gonna look at the list and say,
Yeah.
okay, we have all these events that you need to handle, but then I'm like.
Oh, no.
You don't do this one, and you don't do this one.
No.
The public service recognition, I mean, it's really not an event, that's an employee appreciation. I just went down the list. I did add the police department. I think it's important that, you know, that's a,
Oh, absolutely.
we're all here for the same reason, you know what I mean? And I think,
As what your agenda.
right, like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
something more you have to do, right? No, I understand completely, but yeah, we work,
Police events that we will handle them budget-wise, but we're gonna definitely use her to help us.
Yeah.
for the community engagement, yeah, absolutely, so.
Well, that's, like you said, it's all for one for all, and if we're all, you want to get it all on one list so that you're not working isolated, because you're not isolated, you're all one team.
Right, and it's gonna go on the website, so I have to, you know, if I have it half here, and it's just gets confusing to
Well,
manage,
even
so.
like the employee appreciation type stuff, I mean, I think we, even as board members, we need to get an email on that, so, I mean, just
Yeah.
being here to
Keep
honor
us-
them, basically.
Yeah.
And we can take
Yeah.
off work, you know,
Yeah,
bottom
yeah.
line.
I'm sure they would
Yeah,
appreciate that.
Dan brings $300 gift cards, I hear.
Oh, well, we might have to invite you to our Christmas party then. We did, we had a very exciting Christmas party.
You heard it here, it's on the record. I don't know if it's legal or not. Anyway, but thank you, I appreciate everything you do. I
Well,
really do.
thank you.
We
I
all do,
appreciate it.
really.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
Great things are gonna happen. Absolutely, I'm excited.
Oh,
And I'm
God.
all about that wine festival, Casey. I love wine festivals, fall festivals. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that we wanted from our previous, and she just told us no. and we were-
Well, I'm not gonna tell you no.
I
I'll
think
find a
that-
way to do it.
Well, I think she's got the bandwidth, but it's just a matter of, you know, getting her legs under her, which is really,
Oh, yeah.
you know, takes a little bit of time, but she's doing it to where it's all super buttoned up, which is what we wanted, so. We'll get there,
Absolutely.
Keep it going.
Well, thank you.
All right, let's go to the next agenda here. Item, we have, the last item on the agenda, number 7, is the financial report for December 2024. Mary Ann, you're up.
I'm up, I won't take a lot of time. The only thing I would point out to you is, or just let you all know, sales tax wise. So the sales tax will not change, the portion that you all get will not change until in March. So we're currently trending well. You may recall we budgeted you conservatively
Good.
with the anticipation of losing a half a year of the full amount,
Right,
but no concerns there.
good.
Other than that, does anybody have any questions?
Do you have a percentage of what the increase of tax revenues are compared to last year to where we're at, say, a month into Q1?
Sure. So I don't remember exactly which month is which, but on sales tax, we talked about it last night in the council meeting. For the first, for October, November, and December, 2 of those months were at 20% over last year, and 1 of those months was 40% over last year.
Praise God.
Yeah, I was thinking right around 30 is for the quarter.
Yeah.
Real close
Well,
to
that's
30.
trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
And kind of what y'all had anticipated, which is really good.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's fantastic work then. Great. Well, that's good, Chief.
We don't get anything.
There'll be enough to share.
Don't even talk to Chief till March. Anyway, well, go ahead.
This might not be the time to talk about it at the next meeting. I'd like to talk about financing or paying for the McCown Street. Have a plan for that, and I don't know if you could come with some recommendations on how much cash reserve we need to have on hand all the time, and how much do we potentially need to finance, and the vehicles for doing that. I'd like to have that discussion. I think our costs are coming around $2 million for that.
What is it looking like?
1.7 is what he said or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have cash on hand that we could potentially pay for that, but I don't know how much of that we want to keep on
So-
hand for future, I don't know.
Right.
I'm not a financial expert.
The EDC does not have the ability to leverage financing. You can't issue debt, you can't do those kind of things.
Okay.
So,
We still have to put it through city council, correct?
right, so if it was, the city itself is the only one that has the ability to do any type of debt issuance.
Okay.
That being said, I'm not sure how much, I don't recall what that project looks like as far as cost-wise.
2 million is what we're averaging,
So
estimated.
So there's two things, really.
you
It's
all have a healthy,
Yeah.
the EDC has,
Yeah.
if you look at the cash analysis report,
We have
you will see that between, so what you've got in your cash balances between the investment and what's at First Financial, you've got 2.7.
What page is that on, maybe?
48. And then
Oh, there it is.
currently there's 705,000 that sits in the general fund pool that is a part of that whole pooled cash picture.
Okay,
So
yeah.
So we're just
you
trying
have
to
over 3
paint
million.
I'm trying to paint a picture to make sure there's that project, but then there's.
Wayfinding. What about the wayfinding?
Wayfinding, or we got the property that's gonna come up next time that we'll wanna talk about, and that's not cheap, and from what, we talked about last time when we looked at that property.
Ruby,
so-
can we get at least those two items on? I mean, the wayfinding is way, way, way old.
Way behind.
And we were waiting on the logo, which I believe we've settled on, but I'll share more about that. So it's the wayfinding, it's McCowan, it's the property Ryan mentioned. Those are all 3 big items that we have pricing on, but do we have pricing on the wayfinding? I thought we did.
On some
Well, we just need to
stuff,
pick
on
and
the big
choose.
stuff.
Yeah.
You need to
But-
pick signs,
But we need pricing on the wayfinding. This will be like the 3rd month in a row we've looked for that. So we got derailed a little bit when the transition took place, but
Did we give you guys a price on that?
I haven't received anything.
So I went back to, I want to say it's June. There's prices in our agenda in June. Now, I think they're just estimates.
Yeah, their estimate. And
Was
then well-
that city council or was that MEDC?
EDC,
All right, let me try to do some research and see if I can find something for June, if what was in the packets, and then bring it back forward
'Cause-
on the next meeting.
That Wayfinder packet is literally like an inch thick, and it had estimates in there. 'Cause
Right.
it was in a different color. The prices were different colors. I was like, they gave us prices.
but we don't know if those are even accurate. It's been a year or so since
Right.
they got all that stuff. The other thing we were waiting on were the ordinances, which have now been solidified for the most part as of today. I mean, I feel like we'll have the sign ordinances for the most part. But we can go ahead and push forward, I think, at least get some of these signs out. I've had some of our constituents, hammering, beating the drum, saying, when is it ever going to happen kind of thing. So I think it's really, I don't know, that's just one of those little progress things. I think that all the stars have aligned now, and we're in a position to be able to do that. So if we could put that on our next agenda to maybe as an item to vote which signs, and anytime we can get that well in advance, that would be great. If we need to have, who would get the pricing on that or update the pricing on that?
We had the pricing, Julie had gotten the pricing on it, and part of the deal was what signs, and where you were gonna place these signs.
Right.
Because you can't put them in the right of way.
Right.
Where they're gonna be on private property, and those were some of the questions. I guess those are some of the things we need to put together and bring back to you guys.
If y'all could let us know, even if we just have to, we just want to be able to say, okay, well, let's put 3 signs up. We're going to do the monument, and we're going to show where Fernland Park is, or something, just to show some progress that there are some wayfinding going up. And then we can, just like McCowan, we can sort of do this as a scalable event. We'll start here, do these 3, these 5, these 10, as we go along.
Sure.
Right.
Carol, quick question for you. When the city purchased that property on Klepper, did the city purchase that, or did the MEDC purchase that, or was it borrowed money from the MEDC?
Klepper, I was not involved in it.
That was city purchased, and it was purchased with cash.
Right, I knew it was
But
cash,
was
but I didn't
it-
know, did it come
but
from
I thought
MEDC
MEDC
alone?
I don't know if it was MEDC. I don't know if it was MEDC money, and I don't.
Mary Ann wasn't here
But I don't know
either.
if it was MEDC.
Were you?
Wasn't it?
No.
There's nothing in our finance.
I was
about
not, but in
You remember?
looking at some of the information I've looked at,
It was 5 years ago when they purchased it.
yeah, I'd have to go back and look. So the EDC does have the ability to purchase land.
Right,
Yeah, we
That
don't
is-
have corner
I'm
lots.
just saying that when we purchased that, I just was trying to figure out.
No, EDC pays for that.
I
It's
believe it-
behind the fire department down there.
Yes.
Yeah, EDC paid for that.
EDC
I
did
thought
pay for that, okay.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
That's
So
been
is
about
it
5 years ago.
owned by the
Yeah.
EDC, or is it owned by the city?
It's owned by the city.
It's
The
owned by the
EDC
city.
It was
again
purchased by
doesn't-
MEDC, and was it donated to the city?
The city purchased the land.
Yes.
MEDC used the
Gave.
funds. They offered up the funds
Yeah,
for the city.
gave
to
the
purchase.
money.
That's how the
The
corner
city is
lot
who
went
owns the
too?
land.
Is that how the
Yes.
corner lot happened also? We own that?
Yes.
We pay for the
Yes.
corner lot? Okay.
Corner lot is the same thing.
Yeah,
MEDC is on the loan, and,
There's
no,
not a
not
No, we
the
pay
loan.
cash.
Not a
for
loan.
the
pay
vote.
cash
Cash.
for all the properties except for that,
the old fire
213 is
station
the only thing that's
on,
not paid for.
right.
Or
The
that,
which one?
that had a debt issuance. 213 is
Prairie.
the only thing that
Prairie.
had a debt issuance.
yeah, that's the one that has a loan on it.
So going back,
I don't know about
we
that.
can't issue debt or whatever. So we don't really have a minimum cash balance we would necessarily need to hit.
So,
Because
yeah,
we're
that's
talking about
interesting.
talking about big purchases here that we're healthy, but next year we could potentially not be because we spend it all. But, which we want to do, we want to invest this money back into the community, obviously, so.
Right.
Just,
So the EDC is an interesting function, right? And so it doesn't have staffing needs, it doesn't have operational needs like the city's operating funds do. So it's unique in that standpoint, as saying, you don't have to maintain 30% or anything like that because you don't have those type of operating costs. But certainly, there are some things to think about. If there's projects that you're interested in funding, as legal has to get involved with some of those things, like even with funding towards that water line, right? That has to be an approved type project and those type of things. So it's going to depend on kind of where you're at. You have the wayfinding pieces, right?
Right.
That's going to. You have funds, that's clearly an EDC function, that's an easy one to do. But, figuring out what some of those other things, purchase a property, definitely, that's an okay thing. But again, it's typically, I won't say always, but typically, the city becomes the owner of the property, the EDC funds are used for the purchase of the property.
Okay.
That's like the water
Well,
line, we get what, 75,000
Just like with
for the water line?
infrastructure.
Yeah.
The city is who does the infrastructure.
Right.
EDC
Yeah.
funds can be used towards infrastructure.
So what are you thinking, Ryan? I mean, we probably want to get the infrastructure moving along, right?
Well, I've been coordinating with engineer Chris, and we're all coordinating, us engineers are coordinating on the side for the water and the sewer, water and drainage under McCown.
But that's a city function, not,
Well,
City funded.
so Chris, WJ's already has construction drawings for the water. And then we're doing surface stuff. That will be another construction drawing. Now, the question is drainage, does that get wrapped into the one plan instead of the other? But it all probably needs to be bid together for efficiency of construction.
sure, absolutely.
So I don't know how we're gonna, I assume that the EDC is gonna pay for everything. And last time we had talked to the attorney or, Dave, was, it does count, EDC money can go to infrastructure. We had talked about that and we clarified that. So I don't think EDC will have any issue paying for the water, the drainage, and the surface improvements for McCown Street.
Okay.
So,
Right, and that project will be, that will be handled on the city side, because the city is the one that handles those projects. And EDC funds can be used towards that project.
Yeah.
But again, I think that goes
Right.
through a public hearing and all that kind
Yeah,
of
oh, yeah.
thing, just like,
Because it's more than,
I just want to make sure
Certain
before
amount.
there's a question of, we lost some revenue and this came back at 2 million. Can the EDC continue pushing forward on this? I just want to make sure we have a path forward on that. So it sounds like.
We'll probably know more in March, but we don't have to buy it all at one time, right? It's going to be
No,
we're looking at another year.
It'll be down the road too. And so that the next meeting if we could have it on the agenda, I think you probably already made a note of it, to talk about McCown. I want to say they're going to come back and give us an update. I know Sarah's coordinating with some property owners about the loop through the steakhouse and all that kind of stuff. So I think we'll talk about it again at the next meeting.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Is there anything?
I just want to reiterate, the one I have is wayfinding, the McCowan project, the logo, and then parking lot for Jacobs Properties for the Mardi Gras will be on the council meeting. And then a note to Public Works on the GFCI, but is there anything else?
yes,
What about that piece of property?
the property
Thank
that
you.
Cheryl
Thank you.
Fox wants.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think this,
Actually, I had that over here. I didn't say-
okay, so
Had it over here.
I think that concludes most of the agenda items, but I do have a board inquiry. Are we still on the board? Did we get, there was a lot of us that were up for reelection, and I don't know who made it and who didn't.
I got another year.
Do we know? Was there a city council meeting of any kind? And
Yes, and we were appointed.
We did send yes, it was done.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't receive it. We don't get it.
Don't get emails, so.
Well, I get emails, some of them, but not all.
Barracuda eliminates it in 5 minutes.
But are you saying that we were all reinstated?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. So we can do, you have to do a victory dance around the,
I got another year.
okay. Never mind.
Yes, I just need to update the website with the new dates.
Okay. All right, then, I'm thinking, here I am, we're running this thing, and we don't even know if we're in. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was my only other question. All right, well, are there any other items that need to be discussed, or anybody want to bring up anything else? Board inquiry items, nothing? Anybody out there? No? Yes? Oh, the logo? Well, I do have the logo, yes, but I don't know if anybody has a copy of it.
I did not see the logo email till I was ready to come in here, so I was not able to get it printed for dissemination, but it will be on the next agenda.
Okay. On the next agenda, I'll go ahead, real quick, guys, can I say, I mean, we can see the logo and everything else, but what I was going to say is there was a question about the contract, and so they wanted, Ryan had mentioned they wanted to take a look at the contract. So what I did was, until you contract them, you don't get the contract, which is kind of strange, but you agree on the price, which was like $1,500, and I shared that last time. That is for the entire package, which is soup to nuts, complete branding, email addresses, PDFs, AI, EPS, you name it, every kind of file format known to man. What I need to do is push forward on getting this, everybody on the same page and saying, yeah, that's the logo we want to go with. So I was working with Stephanie, Tilly was a part of it, Sarah Countryman was a part of it, because we did have a massive group, but just to get as much opinion as we can. Went through probably 10 iterations before we finally settled on one, and we have it. So the question is, how can I get this moving along so that she can get her banners, and I funded it myself for the time being, and I'll request reimbursement up to the $1,500 that we had approved. But what do you do in this case? I'm not quite sure.
The logo needs to be approved by this committee?
I don't think it
does.
It does?
And then
Okay.
it's gonna have to go to council because it's the official seal
it's the
of,
official-
it's representation. of-
Okay, so well, that's what I'm asking. So do we want to look at the logo now, or does it have to be an agenda
I
item?
mean, yeah,
Well,
because
we need to get
you had
it
to
on
make a
the
motion, but it's
agenda.
not on the agenda.
I would suggest it come back on the next agenda for approval to proceed with recommendation to council.
Okay, okay.
And
All
then a
right.
separate
In the
agenda
meantime,
item
though,
to
they
be
can
put in
see
for
it, so we can-
reimbursement.
Yeah, because if you have anything to change, now would be the time to do it. So is that okay if I share it with the group in the meantime?
I don't think we can,
It's not on the agenda.
it's on the agenda. We had-
Well, not now, but I mean, in the
You can
meeting.
email
Yes.
us, so we can respond to you.
Yes, as long as you don't do a walking forum.
Right.
Say that again?
Yeah, just email it to us and we can respond to you individually.
Oh, email it individually?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
So
All
that
right.
we can be prepared to discuss.
I'm
it.
sorry, I'm not familiar with all the rules. It's only been 5 years. You'd think I'd get it eventually. Okay, I just want to make sure I understood what the procedure would be. Thank you. I know how to reach you. All right, so we're not quite there yet, but council could put it on their agenda, and hopefully Sarah approved it, or she loved it, so we'll just keep going, okay?
But she's just one person.
I know.
She doesn't even vote.
And she doesn't.
She doesn't even get to vote.
So the least important person likes it the most. Okay, that's great. All right, well, Tilly likes it. Okay, that's something, right, Tilly? Anyway, all right, so I'll do that, Ruby. Thank you for kind of clarifying. Sorry, I don't know as much as you guys do. I'll get it eventually. All right. All right, so if that's all we have, then would you like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Wow,
Ryan?
you owe each other a Coke. Okay, so I don't know who.
Ryan did.
Ryan made a motion to adjourn, Carol seconded it?
I will
Okay.
second.
All right, so we will adjourn the meeting of the EBC, and we're adjourned at,
7:21 PM.
yay, okay, good job.
All right.